Welcome, Hudson Valley, to this week's edition of In Touch, the public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. 2 weeks down to 2023. I can already say that I have so much to be thankful for this year, and In Touch is one of those things. This week's guests are Ken and Dewey from the Marist College Center for Lifetime Study. The center is an educational organization, nonprofit, affiliated with Marist College that allows seniors who live in the area to continue their education. The program offers non-credit courses where they bring in experts and volunteers to teach. This program goes to show that education goes far beyond the traditional classroom and is available to everyone. Learning and growing never has to stop. We invite you to join us and listen to a previously recorded conversation between Ken, Dewey, and myself here on In Touch. Hello, Hudson Valley. You're listening to another episode of In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's public affairs and issues program. We have a great episode for you guys today, centered around education and the absolute desire for lifetime study. With us today, we have Ken Knapp and Dewey from the Marist College Center for Lifetime Study. Guys, how are you today?
Real good.
Real good.
Happy to have you guys here. Now, Dewey, you're a returning guest. We had you here not too long ago for Road to Recovery, and that was a fantastic episode, and we heard so many great things about that. We really appreciate you being on for that. And then shortly after doing that, Dewey hits me up, is like, hey, can we do this? It's like, fantastic. Yes, absolutely. Come back over. So really happy to have you. And Ken, it's a pleasure to be introduced to you. I'm really excited for this episode. I think instead of me just blabbering on about what exactly Marist College Center for Lifetime Study is, how about you guys give us an overview? Ken, would you like to start? Give us a quick overview?
Sure. The Marist Center for Lifetime Study started about 30 years ago. The goal was to have people 55 or older to continue their education in many areas and, of course, allow people to get together, older people, and have some fun.
Which is fantastic. So it's through Marist College, but that's not necessarily where everything is held for the most part, correct?
Correct. Our current location is Locust Grove, in which we have all our classes and some other things that go on.
Okay, fantastic. So you said that this has been going on about 30 years. Didn't I hear that you guys just celebrated an anniversary not that long ago?
Yes, we did.
A few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Okay, we basically had a celebration to recognize the 30 years.
So it's 30 years exactly. That's fantastic.
Yep. And that was held at Locust Grove in their main room there. And we had it all decorated and everything else for Christmas, of course. Mm-hmm. And food, guitar player. Everybody had a good time. When they walked in and looked at the place, they said, wow, this really looks nice, because we had it all decorated.
Wow, that's incredibly festive, and really like hearing that. So this is a very interesting program because it is catering to 55 years and older. Why even have a program like this?
Because your life doesn't end, you know.
There we go.
And you've got to have activities and things to do. And these people, by the way, all our members, it's a very well educated. We have a lot of PhDs, we have teachers, we have scientists, we have all kinds of people. And the interaction between those groups really works well.
No, that's fantastic. Dewey, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, to me, it's just a great opportunity to not only meet other people, but to share ideas and life experiences. As he just said, we have a lot of people who are teachers, retired professors. We also have a lot of ordinary, everyday people, a lot of homemakers. They're just saying, you know, I'm not ready to be put out to pasture yet. I want to continue meeting people and learning things. And that's really one of the great goals we have, is to continue learning.
No, which is absolutely fantastic, because education is so much more than what can be found in the stereotypical classroom. And to be able to have that experience and opportunity to do so in such a creative way with your peers, and just bring in all these different opportunities and perspectives. It's great. So we've been talking about how you said people from all different walks of life. What kind of classes are offered through the Marist College Center for Lifetime Study? Either one of you want to pick that up?
Every semester we have a list of different courses that people can sign up for. And they can be anything, literally. I mean, one that impressed me no end was when we had doctors in showing essentially how they're operating on hearts, not by breaking the breastbone and all that sort of stuff, but through inserting through arteries and things like that. And just amazing, the stuff they do now. I'll give you another example.
Yeah, please
do. A couple more. We had somebody go through Eleanor Roosevelt's life, and she spent about 8 weeks, I think it was, going through the different stages of Eleanor's life, showing pictures and her books and all that sort of thing. It was really fantastic. We had a fellow teaching astronomy, okay, and he brought in all kinds of gear, telescopes, and then, of course, showing pictures that he'd taken and inviting people to join their organization to see it. Another one, a dance class.
I love
Actually teaching people how to dance, to ballroom or different things. It's really kind of interesting.
Oh, fantastic. I wish I was available for something like that. I could really use some dance lessons.
You will be someday.
I got 2 left feet. It's pretty bad. I remember second date I went with my girlfriend. It was a concert, and I was just apologizing left and right. It was like, I'm sorry, I can't dance for anything. But that's so cool. It's such a broad range that the Marist College Center for Lifetime Study offers. Now, it sounds like to me, and if either one of you guys could clarify, it's not the same thing semester to semester. You guys seem to change it up. Is that right?
Correct.
That's neat.
Okay, every semester is different classes. Oh, we do repeat some once in a while due to the fact that a lot of people would like to see one again. But for the most part, it's every semester you get a pre-list of here's all the classes that we've organized, and you just pick and choose.
And that's really impressive and a good chance to be able to bring up. Dewey, it looked like you wanted to say something.
Sure. You just mentioned how it's unlike a regular college semester. What's beautiful about this, it is non-credit, no homework, no tests.
Oh, I like the no homework. That's the best right there.
So, I mean, I don't want to make it like it's too loosey-goosey, but you know what? There's really no pressure. The way it works is it's set into an 8-week fall semester, a 2-week winter semester in January, and then another 8 weeks in spring. And the classes are generally held once a week only. It's during the weekday, during the daytime, and it's really easy to glide in and glide out, so to speak. We don't have Delaney cards to mark your attendance, so you don't have to worry about that. But because the people are really interested, they want to learn, and you'll find an enthusiasm quite infectious.
It sounds like it's at the point where it's so inspiring, the people are just going to be initiated into it and just have the initiative to be a part of it and probably maybe do some research on their own or practice at home or something along those lines where it doesn't just stop in the class. It just continues and broadens and kind of blossoms from there. It sparks something. You're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's Public Affairs and Issues program. We are talking with Ken and Dewey from the Marist College Center for Lifetime Study. It's an incredible program that offers all these different kinds of classes for people 55 years and up. It's held at Locust Grove. It's through Marist College, and it's really an incredible opportunity. Now, something that we were talking about before we got onto the microphone was the pandemic. Pandemic started 2020. Here we are, 2023, but it is still so relevant. We were talking about how the pandemic hit the center and how things are kind of adapting after that point. Can you guys talk about what that looked like at the time and what it looks like now?
Sure, I can add a couple comments on that. One is we started at one point to go Zoom as opposed to on-site. And we did that for a whole semester, a whole year.
Yes.
Basically to do that. And by the way, right now, this winter class that we have, we thought we'd avoid snow and all that sort of stuff. So those are by Zoom.
Okay.
And it also allows some members who have moved away to continue to be interested.
Oh, that's very good.
See things. So not everything is Zoom. We still want to have the personal interaction.
Mm-hmm. But it's good to be able to have that access just in case. So as we were saying, though, with how it hit, what you had that time period where it was mostly just Zoom. What was that like for the numbers? What were the numbers looking like for this program prior to the pandemic, then when it hit, and how's it looking now?
Well, we had 650 members, which is kind of limit of what Locust Grove can have.
Wow. Yeah.
And right now we're down to
About 470 or so.
Yeah, something like that. So we have a lot of room for adding new people. And we'd like to get new people all the time.
Yeah, because weren't you saying before that there was a big waiting list, and now we're trying to let people know it's like, okay, we got some room, let's get some people in, right?
You got it.
Exactly. Dewey, do you have anything that you want to add on about the pandemic time period?
I mean, just like everybody else, we've been hit with it. We used to have a waiting list, a long waiting list. I understand a lot of people out there are still thinking, oh, I can't join. It's a huge waiting list. That's no longer the case. Feel free to join.
No, it's good to know, it's not because of a lack of interest, but just more of the awareness and how everything got screwed up with the pandemic. Everybody's, still a little hesitant on some things or just don't even think about it, which is great that we're able to have a program like this, In Touch, where we can talk about it and educate people on everything that's going on around here. Something that you guys brought up before about the educators, that you guys have people come in of all walks of life. You have professors, you have people that just worked in a field, or it could be anything. Could you tell us a little bit about how you guys bring in your different professors for the class? It just seems so interesting when we were like emailing back and forth about it.
We have various committees, and one of the committees is get together the classes. And there's a whole group of people that go around and solicit people. Let me give you an example. When I first joined, I just went to class. Okay? And then you get kind of interested in things. So then you start doing different things. So I ended up on the council, okay, as secretary for 3 years. Dewey's now secretary for 3 years. I now do we have a program which basically awards a scholarship to some older person trying to finish up their education. And we get applications and all that. And we've just got a new one that we just awarded $4,000 to.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
So,
and that's to go back and do more of the formal education side to get a degree, correct?
correct. That's
outside, not outside, but in tandem with this, right?
right.
Very, very cool. That's awesome that you guys are able to allow that and make that happen.
And by the way, the other thing that happens is after you get to know people and then you join this, and I found myself now I've even taught a class.
Oh, fantastic. What class have you taught?
It was actually about Cuba.
It was about Cuba.
From essentially to Fidel Castro, starting to today.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's really cool. And how long ago was that you did that class?
Last semester.
That was last semester? Very, very cool. Dewey, have you ever had a chance to teach a class?
Yes. As a matter of fact, that's how I got involved with this. I met
neat.
somebody at the gym.
Nice.
And we just started talking. And she realized I had a particular expertise in an area in the legal system. So I talked about a particular aspect that I had been handling. So I taught that. I think I taught a couple of other things. And then I wound up joining. So I actually wound up teaching first, unlike Ken, and then said, this is really a great group of people. This sounds like a fun place to be. So I then joined. One of the things that I have, in a sense, found my niche is I have now moderated, I think, about a half dozen debates between qualified experts outside of our organization, strong advocates who are articulate in their views. I have done LGBT rights and religious freedom. I have done gun control. I have done drug legalization, racism and law enforcement, critical race theory. As you can see, I have not shied away from hot button topics. So as a result, when I bring in the outside experts or advocates of their positions, I moderate the discussion, and it's been wonderful. The people have been very civil. I actually admonished the audience, the classroom participants, no clapping, no cheering until the very end. Please just be respectful. I ask the questions. I actually give the questions 2 weeks beforehand.
Smart.
So they know exactly what's coming on down the pike. I want reasoned, thoughtful answers, and that's what we've gotten. It's been great. I enjoy it.
That's incredible. So how does that work then for the students, a part of the program? How can they get involved in, participating and watching and seeing how this all works out?
Raise your hand. We solicit all of our members to be active participants in the organization. And you don't have to just teach. We have people that work in the office. Mm-hmm. You got to do some typing, data entry, making some phone calls. We have people who, hey, we like to be hosts and hostesses. We have coffee and cake and cookies during the daytime in our classes. So in between classes, people feel like, oh, I can socialize for a few minutes. So that's provided. We have people who arrange special events where they go off campus to a botanical gardens or a trip to New York City for something.
I was going to mention a couple of those, okay? Yeah. These are trips that we organize, and they used to be on a bus, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Well, with COVID, that kind of died a bit. But right now, people are basically figuring out carpools and everything else to get to these places. Places like Angry Orchard.
Oh, wow.
Across the river.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Van Buren's home. New York subway system.
Oh, very cool.
Go see that. Chauncey Stillman's Wethersfield estate. That's just a few of them, okay, they offer. They even had some that were like dinner at Beekman Arms.
Oh, fantastic.
And that gets people together.
I had a couple of buddies who worked over there. It was fantastic there. And I've been to a number of those places. Those are great places in the Hudson Valley to be able to check out. And there's so much rich history part of most of those places. And there's a lot currently going on that people can learn from and enjoy. It just sounds like there is a huge, great community aspect to everything that is going on here. And to kind of touch upon, like, what's the point? Why look into something like this? It's more than just broadening your mind. It's just broadening your life and your spirit and all that based on personal experience. What has this program brought to you guys, and what have you seen it bring to your peers? For
me, it's given me the opportunity. I've never moderated debates.
There you go.
So I've now had an opportunity to do that a number of times, and I find I enjoy it. I love hearing people be strong advocates for the positions, but yet have a civil, respectful conversation. And I think people respect that, especially in these times.
Oh, absolutely. Incredible. Ken?
Yeah, and we basically ask the people that are members to join different things. Like, we have a lot of audiovisual stuff. It's got to keep running. It's got to do all sorts of stuff for us. And so we have an AV committee that basically learns how to do all that, set up the equipment for the microphones and, something like this here.
Oh, yeah.
When troubles occur, you got to fix it.
Oh, exactly. No, it's good to have a good team who are reliable on something like that. Fantastic. Again, you're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's Public Affairs and Issues program. We've been talking with Ken and Dewey from Marist College Center for Lifetime Study. They offer so many incredible different programs and foster an incredible community where, you can bond, you can learn, you can grow all together and have new experiences. So we were talking about how this is done throughout the semesters, 8 weeks, fall and spring, about 2 weeks, you said, in the winter. When are the best times for people to look into enrolling in these courses, and how can they do so? Where should people be looking?
Anytime.
Anytime.
Okay, I've got a couple things for you there. Telephone, 845-575-3902. That'll get you right to somebody, which will be happy to take your application. If you want to email it, you can email it to mc.cls@maristedu.edu.
Very cool. Is there a specific website people can check out as well?
Yes. Well, I don't have it right off the top of my head,
yeah.
but if you Google in Marist College Center for Lifetime Study, it'll pop right up.
Okay, I think I actually have it right here. marist.edu/professional-programs/CLS. That's what I have here.
Okay, that sounds good.
That sounds about right. And again, we will have all the phone numbers, all the emails, and the website all on the description of this episode under the In Touch tab in the description, wherever you're listening, if you're listening as a podcast. But
let me mention one more thing.
Yes.
The year's dues. It will cost somebody $240 to join for a year. That's a reasonable, for all you get.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good deal.
Very reasonable. Yeah, definitely. You can be easily spending that much on just a streaming service, watching Netflix and Hulu constantly. So if you're going to be spending that money on something, might be, it's a great idea to do it on something that can truly benefit you for the long run. Ken, Dewey, it was really great having you guys on. I hope that you get a bunch more new faces for your classes. I wish that I could attend some of these classes. They sound fantastic. If you are as enamored by all that's going on in this program as I am, again, please check out the links in this episode. Ken, Dewey, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been this week's edition of In Touch, the public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. We want to give a big thank you to Ken and Dewey. The Marist College Center for Lifetime Studies website is www.marist.edu/professional-programs/CLS. The phone number is 845-575-3902. Of course, all the links and information can be found in the description of this episode. Thank you to everyone who listened to In Touch in 2022. Last year, we saw a lot of growth with this program, and we expect even more to come in 2023. You can find In Touch episodes new and old on your favorite streaming services like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. That and listen on demand with your Townsquare radio station mobile app. Of course, you can still find all articles and audio under the In Touch tab on this radio station's app and website. And don't forget, we're also on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at InTouch_HV. We're currently booking spots for 2023. It is still very early. We have a whole year ahead of us. Whether you have a topic you want discussed or you want to be a guest, the best way to contact us is through our office number, 845-471-1500, or email direct to connor.walsh@townsquaremedia.com. I've been your host, Connor Walsh. Until next time, stay curious, keep an open mind, and as always, I'm glad we get to spend some time.